Hello and welcome back to the Glassman's World. This is Dan Glassman, and we're about to get started making some new inventory. Basically, yesterday went out, had a bunch of my spinning tops. As you remember, this whole area was just full of a bunch of spinning tops, and there was about 35 of them. And apparently, yesterday I went to a market at Smoking Joe's, which that was a very spontaneous day yesterday. I was planning to go to our friend's smoke shop, Polite Smoke Shop. She does the Polite Sparket Market every other Saturday, I believe. And so I was planning to go there to the Polite Sparket Market. But then the night before, a friend of mine, he was going to be DJing another event, which was at a dispensary, and he invited me there before. I missed that event, and I wanted to check it out, but I had already said I was going to go do this Sparket Market. I had all my stuff ready to do some demos because our friend Joey Unser from the family, the Unser Racing family. Joey Unser is a glass artist. He's also a snowboarder, skateboarder, extreme sports guy, and he usually brings out his torch so we can do some live demos. So I had all my stuff ready to go, and then I realized when I was out and about already that I forgot all of my equipment, so I wasn't going to be able to do demos. And then I drove past the market that my friend was going to be DJing at, and they started 1 hour before and lasted an hour later. And I was like, okay, I can go to a market and set up for 3 hours, or let me go check out this other market where I can set up for 5 hours. It'll give me a couple extra hours to make a little bit more money. I'm in crunch time right now, trying to raise money for rent. This month is the first month I am having to come up with rent all by myself. My wife's disability benefits, basically her income, has been cut off entirely. So we've lost like a third to a half of our income, like just right, like as of tomorrow. I think it's the first, or is today the first? I think today is the day. So I'm going to be out doing as much as I can to make. I believe I need to come up with at least another $150 to secure everything, even though I have people who owe me more than that. If they can come through, that would be great, but I need to basically do this on my own. So we're going to bust out some of this glass. I sold out all of my spinning tops yesterday. We had 35 of them. I know that I sold out on all of the green, all of the amber, all of the, a lot of the blues. So we're going to just make a bunch of different ones here, but we definitely need amber, and we definitely need the green. Those ones sold right away. And the purples. I noticed the purples also sold quite a bit. And then the light blue and the regular blue, you know what didn't sell was the gray. So we're going to see. Maybe today is the day for gray. I don't know. Also, next week, next Saturday, is the Pride Parade here in Albuquerque, which is, for me, it's all about rainbow at that point, right? So I've got this beautiful rainbow cane here. It's a beautiful ribbon cane, and we're going to convert this into some things. We're also going to make some ribbon canes, some more different rainbow colored ribbon canes, things like that. Probably not today on this video, but I'll be doing that all week. So that's what you'll be watching all this coming week, is a bunch of rainbows, which I love the rainbow. Rainbow is basically the spectrum of light, which is then bent by light refraction, reflection through things like water drops and also things like glass prisms. So I find it very fascinating. Rainbows are everywhere, but we can only see the spectrum of light when we have something that can help bend the light for us to see it. And I think that's awesome. Bob Marley sang about the rainbow. Want you to know you're a rainbow too, but to the rescue, here I so let's get started here. Enough singing. Alright, the other thing too is I dropped my punty, which is basically just a piece of scrap glass, right? So let me find another piece of scrap glass that will convert to a punty. I guess we'll use this one here. Alright, so we're going to get started here, guys. Good morning and welcome. Hey, what's up, Pro Cannabis Warrior? Welcome back. So I'm getting started. About to make some stuff. I got to make some more spinning tops. I sold a lot, like half of them yesterday. I just re-upped all of those. I had like 35 of them, and I only have 15 left. So I sold 20 of the 35. So let's see if we can remake like 20 more. You made 6 spinners. That's dope. Awesome. Yesterday I was, I follow a lot of different glass blowers, and I just, sometimes I interact with them and sometimes I don't. I've kind of been one of those glass artists that I've always worked alone. I've always staged myself in my own studio. It seems like when you get around a lot of other glass blowers, sometimes it creates a drama. And there's a lot of ego and a lot of pride all in one same room together. I'm not really all about that. I do like to show off, all for fun and stuff like that, but it's all fun and games for me. A lot of them are like extremely serious about things and get butthurt about things. So I like to stay alone to myself. But on Facebook, I've been following someone. I don't even remember her name. I don't even know where she works from, but I see her line work. I see that she does some really nice line work and detail work and beautiful, beautiful glass craftsmanship. And I saw some mushroom pendants that she made. Very beautiful mushroom pendants. A white stem with a beautiful red cap. I don't even know what color red she is using, because I don't believe it's ruby and I don't believe it's pomegranate. And I probably should ask her, what is that red? Because it's a beautiful red. And so I saw that she had this beautiful red mushroom, and I just asked, I was like, have you ever made them with the white dots on it? And she's like, no, I've never been able to figure out how to do the dots. So I shared a video with her that has no instruction. All it is a demo. And I shared that with her. And then I got so busy, and she was like asking me questions left and right through Messenger. And I didn't even notice any of those questions until I got back yesterday. I was out vending all day at that event. And so, I basically turned her on to the Amanita mushrooms and how I make them, my style, my technique. I've seen other people make them, but not my technique. So now she's doing the Gardenia glass version of the Amanita mushrooms. I think that's dope. I just taught someone how to blow glass without ever even meeting them, not really ever introducing myself to them, and bam. I love that. And now I inspired you to make some spinners. I love that. That was freaking cool. Gardenia glass knowledge and techniques around the world. That's cool. Gardenia glass techniques in Belgium. So you made 21 of them, huh? Yeah, the wobble is hard. Putting that dot center, that's hard. And then pulling it perfectly straight. That's the hard part. But if you've noticed when you flatten these, like I'm about to flatten this here, but that would be cool. I've never even thought about doing online lessons for pay. I would just do donations. I'm like, I don't know, like, I basically charge $30 an hour. You know, I give you an hour of my time. You want to give me $30? That's cool. If you get something out of it, that's cool, right? But yeah, personal lessons on Zoom, where then I can watch what you're doing and stuff. But then it's hard to look through the camera, so I couldn't wear my glasses to see what you're doing specifically and what you might be doing wrong. So that would be the hard thing. But tutorials, right? Glassblowing 101, instructions. Yeah, that can happen. I can see that happening. I've said before that I would like to compile all the videos that I've made, the beginner glassblowing videos, and compile them to make one specific video that I can then sell as like a DVD. So when you flatten the glass, I'm pretty sure you're aware that there's like these, the lines from the heat. So you can see where the center is on there, you can see where it is. So you just got to try to find where that center is, and then just do it. Just did it just perfectly. Oh my gosh, this rod's too long. I'm trying to set it on everything. When the rod's long, it's really hard to do this center. So give me a second here. See if I can even do this. Oh my gosh, my glasses are moving. And then when I add it, I like add a little bit, and then I start to spin it, and I can see, oh, there's the center. Then I can push it over a little more this way or a little bit more that way as I'm adding it right there. And then I just pull it off and try to round it to keep it centered right now. Now the thing is that this is basically a whole entire 2-foot section of the rod that is just cut, or 2.5. I don't know if these are the 4-foot or if they're the 5-foot. Those glass, the Duran 16 millimeter rod. I don't know what rod you work with and start with, but this is 16 millimeter. Oh yeah, that one came out pretty good in the center. You can see that pretty good, yeah? Got a little bit of a wobble. Yeah, I've tried to do the whole putting glasses in front of this, and it doesn't work. I have the rose Zidemiums, but maybe what I need to do is get the actual dark, like the Shade 5 Zidemiums, like the ones that I'm wearing. I've actually never put these glasses in front of the flame to see how it works. Maybe that's what I'm needing to do. I do have these paper glasses that are like a blue filter. They're like $6 that you can pick up really cheap. But they can get torn and shredded up pretty quickly. I've kept them somehow for many years. But then it turns everything blue. But I think at that point then you can actually see through the flame with the sodium flacker, and you can really see what I'm doing. I don't know if I've missed anyone else in the comments. I do see that there's another individual watching as well. So thank you for tuning in. I know there's a lot of people who watch while they're at work, although it's Sunday. I don't know if anyone's working this early right now besides me on a Sunday. Alright, and then this part right here, you just want to pull slowly and then keep pulling as you're letting it set up so you can keep it nice and taut. And that's the trick too. So that way you don't have a wobble on your handle, and then cut it off about an inch. And then I just, gather all this and round it down, and I really thicken up the handle because I feel like a bigger handle kind of gives it a little bit better of a spin. And then I want to bring down all this that's really thinned out and bring it down to like from like a 3 or 4 millimeter into thicker like 5 to 7 millimeters right there underneath that knob. So then that way, you know, if it does fall. And the thing is I do demos where I'll take one of these right above the cement and I'll just do that and drop it right on the sidewalk. I have had some of them break because, you know, after multiple times of dropping them, they tend to lose their strength, right? It is glass. And then it's like, yeah, they do break, but a lot of them can withstand that fall. Like, but I've been dropping this one all day, so, and then I'll throw another one to show them. Yeah. And then that one breaks. And then the next one. No, these are so strong that if you can melt the colored dot, which is what I'm doing now, while I'm getting the punching mark away, but I'm also making sure that this is all melted on there really well. And so when that's melted on well, nice and solid, when it lands, like it can take that force, you know. You're gonna get little chips and little nicks, and you know, from hitting the sidewalk though. So I wouldn't recommend anyone buying one of these. I mean, they're only $5, right? But pretty much affordable to be a disposable piece of something, right? I mean, people buy disposable stuff like the e-cig and all those, the carts and the vapes. You know, all of those are disposable, you know, with the battery and everything. And people spend good money on those, so a $5 disposable item is that. Excuse me. So we're gonna just keep on making more of these. I know that I only have one more amber, so let's make at least 4 ambers. I know I have one more green, so I'll make 4 green. It's almost 7:20 right now. I'm thinking I'm probably gonna be getting off the torch in an hour, about 8. Everything's already packed up and loaded in the van from yesterday's event, so I pretty much just got to get myself loaded up and then drive down there and set up. We normally set up at 9 o'clock, but if we get there a little bit early, then we get good parking. So I'm hoping to do that. That way I don't have to do a long haul and carry everything. But I do have a cart with some really big wheels. It's really good for dragging through rocks and grass for those kind of events. So yeah, we got like this little fold-up wagon kind of cart thing, and it's really awesome. Yeah, and this 16 millimeter rod, I round it until it's like maybe a millimeter wider on each side, so it goes to like 18 millimeter, I'm suspecting, and that's when I flatten it. And then flattening it, you want to spin it on your pad. And then you want to, when you're flattening it, you want to watch and make sure that your rod stays in the center. So you're looking at the sides and the front of it and watching that thickness to make sure the rim is thick. So if it's like too thick on one spot, you want to somehow like push it over while it's molten and force it over, right? Here's the reamer in its way. So then I package it. I understand. I forgot that works. I poke a hole in the center and then put glass on it. Like you poke a hole in the center. Poke a hole in the center of what? Are you making them out of tubing? Are you doing hollow ones? That's cool. You're doing hollow. Oh, and you're doing soft glass too. Yeah. You know, I've tried to play with soft glass. I have boxes of soft glass actually available that I need to sell. Is it the same price? Do you know if, well, I guess our markets would be different, but here in America, Boro is like $6 a pound for clear glass compared to $60 a pound for color glass. And that's not like for the really nice glass, like the Honocanium and all the new slime and all that, you know, all the glow in the dark, or the, not glow in the dark, but the fluorescent um, activated glass and all that stuff. So yesterday, I went to that one market, and like I said, I stopped by over there at the market to see if my DJ friend was setting up there, and he said, "Come by, check it out. Why don't you set up?" And so I stopped by over there. I noticed the person that was talking to all the vendors. So I walked up to her and introduced myself, and was like, you know, my friend invited me to come down and just see if I might be able to sneak in a little bit, but also I was planning to do this other event. And she asked who I was and what I do. And as soon as I said who I was, she's like, "Oh, I follow you on Facebook. I love your work." And she's like, "You know what?" And she basically like said, "Look, don't worry about the fee. If you make some money, just get me back at the end of the day." And and we would love to have you here. She's like, "I love your work. I don't have a glass blower here set up. We would love to have you." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, like you're gonna basically waive the fee for me." Like, "Yeah, you said get me back later so I get you something." But I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm already here." I was gonna go down to my friend's smoke shop and set up over there where my other friend was gonna bring in his glass torch, and we were gonna do live demos. And then I realized I left all of my glass equipment, my glasses, my hand tools, all of my stuff to do live demos. I left it at home. So I was like, you know what? I got in the car, I sat down in the car for a second, I smoked a bowl. I was like, do I just not show up at a place that I just promoted several times? Hey, what's up, Austin? I see you're here too. Good morning. And so, yeah, I ended up smoking a bowl, and I realized, you know what? Sometimes things happen for a reason, and you just gotta go with the flow of things, right? And I decided, you know what? Let's do it. Let's set up. So I set up. I got a really nice prime spot, basically right next to the entrance of the dispensary. So as people were coming and going, like I'm the second booth from the door. I'm like, that's freaking amazing. I love it. So it panned out. It worked out really well. A very good day. I might have done a better day at the other spot. I don't know. We don't know these things, but it was a good day for me. And it worked out beautifully. And now I got hooked in with the dispensary there. They're asking me to come and do demos. I heard that they were looking for someone to do demos all week, and they had a quote of $600 for 3 hours. So I'm like, what? That's ridiculous. Like, I'll come and do it for like 50 to $100, like for a couple hours, you know? Because I know if I'm stuck doing glass demos, then my sales double and triple. Why would I not want to set up, right? You got to test every one of these, make sure that they spin. You got to make them tried and true, right? So there it is. There's the first spinning top right there. It works well, not too much of a wobble. It's hard to get them through. All right. Spoon, what are you saying spoon about? I bought some glow-in-the-dark pigment to light up the cap of the mushroom. You have glow? I can't get any. If you're going to do anything like that, I would suggest maybe just coating clear glass or coating white. I guess you can coat any color with that, right? So you would just heat up the rod and then roll it. Maybe get like I don't know if you can use an aluminum can, stainless steel, probably better, some kind of a, something that, like like a half of a, something that's like a trough. And you want to be able to put that powder in there and then roll it in, as it's hot. That would be my suggestion. I've never worked, I don't work powders too much. I've worked grit. But powders, I've only worked them a couple times. I would love to learn I don't know if you've ever heard of Robert Nicholson. He's from, I believe he was born last in Florida. I started watching him in 1997. And he had a video out, I think, which came out in like 95 called Just a Demo. And he made these beautiful goblets. He does stemware, and he sold his stemware for like, anywhere from like $1,000 to $5,000 a piece. Yeah, but to make the whole thing glow would be awesome. I know that they do sell glow tube in borosilicate glass, so we can buy tubing that has the glow-in-the-dark stuff in it, and also the stuff with the UV light reactive glass as well. But I've learned that the Boro Rods company, Boro Rods, they used to make these square color sticks, and they also had the glow sticks. And during COVID, I heard they shut down, and they don't have access to the uranium, I guess, anymore, or something, or it became too expensive. Or I don't really know all the full details of it. I just know that during lockdowns and everything, I was sitting here making all kinds of cool glow stuff and just selling it at normal, regular prices. I had enough of a supply to get me through for a little bit, and I didn't make glow stuff all the time, but I made it, and then I would just sell it at normal, regular prices. And then I went to go get more, like, I don't know, about a year ago. A few years after lockdowns and all that stuff and everything. And the guys are like, there is no more glow sticks. They've been discontinued for like 3 years now. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, where have I been? So I only have a little bit of my glow left. I believe this is some of it right there. That's some of the glow glass right there. This is also some of it right here, and I think that is all that I have left of my glow glass. And I'm saving it for myself, for my kids. Like, if that's all that's left in the world for me, well, then I'll just keep that. One thing is be careful with using powders. You have very good ventilation, maybe even mask up. That's one thing that the masks are good for. And they don't stop anything else besides like dust, dirt, and debris. Things like that. I just dropped something off the desk, and I don't know what it was. It hit my knee, and then it fell on the floor, and I don't know where it went. Alright, so this is number 3 here. We'll make one more amber and then we'll get to the green. So this is just a production day right now. Like I said, we're just going to work for an hour and just shoot the shit. But I'm really stoked that I got to go and do the event yesterday. But then I feel bad that I ducked out because I triple promoted going to Polite's Market. I posted it up 3 times and tagged them and tagged Joey Unser that I was gonna, like, hopefully Joey would show up and we'd rock some 5 Glassblowing demos all day again. And no, I ended up going to a different market. Just completely I just ducked out. I feel bad. I'm gonna have to go bring her some glass. Like, I'm so sorry, Polite. I love you. Trying to support everyone, but mainly trying to support my family right now. So I gotta try to make these, like, decisions. And, yeah, some crazy last minute decisions. I have to also decide next weekend. We have the Pride Parade coming through right where we're vending today. So we're going to be at the market today on Solano and Central here in Nob Hill, Albuquerque. That's along the Route 66. For those of you who are familiar with Route 66, get your kids on Route 66. So yeah, Central Avenue is basically Route 66 that runs through our whole entire city of Albuquerque here. It's the main strip. It's also one of the worst places because of crime and homelessness and things like that. But, you know, we got these really nice pockets like Nob Hill, where it's a shopping area. We got Old Town. We got downtown. We got, I mean, they're doing their best to clean up the mess, but the mess starts, you know, from every home and every family. Until families and individuals are willing to take accountability, I guess it's going to always become a public nuisance and a public problem rather than a family problem. So you have your family involved and help you out, and lift you up, take you off the street, make sure you're well fed, you know, things like that. But I guess we have to rely on government to be our parent. But yeah, Route 66 runs through Central Avenue this weekend. Pride Parade on the 7th, but also it's the second weekend of the Placitas Market, and I've only done the Placitas Market one time for the very first time 2 weeks ago. I was planning to go back, and yeah, I don't even know. I'm like, should I go out there? I have some orders, so I need to make these orders, which is, you know, money in my pocket. I also know I can go back in 2 more weeks, but then will they be there still? They're expecting me to be there this coming weekend, so what I might do, we get to set up at 5:30 a.m. We're supposed to be set up by 7 a.m. So they should be there by 7 a.m. setting up. And maybe what I'll do is I'll just make a morning trip to Placita. It's a beautiful morning trip. I wish I had my phone so I could take you guys along on a live stream on a beautiful drive during sunrise right next to the Sandia Mountains and driving out to Placita, New Mexico, which is just north of Albuquerque and just to the east of Bernalillo and Santa Ana Pueblo, or also known as the Santa Ana Indian Reservation. So we're here in New Mexico where we have 19 pueblos, 19 different pueblos, all in the state here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, we need to make one more. And then we're back to 5 ambers. So yeah, we got a lot of indigenous peoples here. That's why the Gathering of Nations powwow happens right here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, the center hub of New Mexico. We have people that descend upon this place every year in April for the Gathering of Nations. People from all over the world, from many different tribes, many different indigenous people. So yeah, we have a lot of that culture here, and the customs and the traditional ways of the natives here. Good friends of mine will be setting up today from San Domingo, Pueblo. They set up with me yesterday. It was pretty funny because they were at a different market yesterday. And they were saying how the weekend before, that market didn't really pan out. It was literally right up the street from the market that I decided I was going to set up at. And right after I got the okay and let's do it and set up there, I started bringing my canopy out. And next thing I know, my friends from SC, they all pull up. And I'm just like, wait, I thought they were going to be over at the other dispensary at Mama and the Girls. And they said when they pulled up, they saw my van in the parking lot. They were headed to Polite Market as well. And they saw my van, and they're like, wait. And as they drove past, they heard someone yell, hey. And they thought it was me yelling at them. So they turned around, and they came back to see what was up, and they got a spot too. And that was really, really cool. Oh, it's the taxes. That is so much to bring it to Europe, huh? Yeah, the taxes and the tariffs, man. These are all new things that are going to be affecting all of us globally because of what's been set into place with the World Economic Forum and the United Nations, and with every other ABC group that's involved, like the WHO, the CDC, the USA, all the alphabet gangs or whatever. And so, they have this plan known as the Great Reset. So they're resetting all of the systems that have been running the world. All these systems that have been put into place, they are dismantling the system. So, like people are like, they've been talking about down with the system and stuff like that. Down with the system. Down with the system. And so people may not realize that, they've been getting everyone to revolt against the system, right? But their whole plan has been to basically tear down these systems. And so, yeah, we're all on this global reset plan right now. And every country has their own special, unique, individual plan. And every city and every state or every territory or every province, however it is that it's set up in your region. Yeah, that one spins good too. They all spin good. They're nice and solid. All right, let's move on to green now. We'll get at least another 4 green going. All right, so what do you say for the pigment or a tray? Use your wear tools. Is that the spot that you're getting it from for the pigment? Be very careful with dark pigment and fine gray grit, what we call pigment in oil. Black is more toxic, huh? Toxicer? More toxic. I don't know if toxicer, that's a good word though. I like it. I don't know if it's a true way to say it. Oh yeah. Yeah, and the thing is that there's not just Native Americans. There's, indigenous people from all over the world. And from my from what I've learned, my knowledge, my teachings that I've been able to acquire through Hinduism and going back into Vedic knowledge, things that surpass, the sacred knowledge that surpasses, um, it was written in Sanskrit. It predates so many different sacred texts. They say that, it was at least, written at least 12,000 years ago, and possibly even 50 to 100,000 years even, because everything that was written in the Vedic scriptures, before it was ever written down, before it was turned to Sanskrit, before vibrational sound was turned to writing, or basically the chanting, the vibrational singing or chanting songs, or the verses, right? The uni verses, the one songs all put together to create life and create everything. The Vedic knowledge it goes way back, and it lends the information of the Hindu tribe, right? The indigenous peoples, the indigenous peoples, the indigenous peoples. From what I've been taught is that we are all from the Hindu tribe or indigenous. We are all part of the indigenous tribe, and that's where a lot of us all stem from. And so that's how we are all indigenous to this planet, basically. But, modern technology, civilization, society, socialization, modern day socialization, society, civilization, and the need for governance in order to basically be parental guidelines for the world. We've all been put under the system here, and now they're going to break it. They're going to dismantle it and take it apart. But they're going to make us believe that we're the ones who are tearing down the system, right? Just like they make us believe that we're creating a big difference by paying taxes, when they just simply printing money left and right. And how much is each country in debt to one another, or just in debt in general, right? But they don't get any penalties for being in debt, right? Do they get any overdraft fees for being in debt? Wouldn't it be great if we all just were like, oh, well, we're banking and we're in debt, but it's okay, right? We don't have to pay any fees or fines or anything for being in debt. We'll just work our way out of it. Trillions and trillions of dollars later. It's interesting how, the government's like the parents. It's they're do as I say, not as I do. Oh, the governance of the world. Because people don't know how to be self-sustainable. They don't know how to govern themselves. They don't know how to parent themselves. So people step in and decide that they're going to be our masters, our rulers, our dictators. And they create these systems for us to work through. But they're dismantling it. It's called the Great Reset. And they're going to make it seem like we're the ones who broke it down. Rage Against the Machine, baby. It's the machine. That's the thing. The machine is building it like creating systems and destroying systems and all simultaneously and keeping us distracted. It's not about taking down the system, it's destroying the machine that's running it all. And getting back to the sacred knowledge, the sacred ways, getting back to self-sustainability, the compassion and caring for our planet and for all others, for all our brothers and sisters, how we're connected. Yeah. I have a lot of respect for anyone who lives with nature and tries to be in perfect harmony with nature. Those who pray over their water and their food, those who put good vibrational intentions into their food, their water, before putting it into themselves. Those are the ones who hold, not hide. Although some may hide, they hold that magic of transmutation, of being able to change negative into positive. All it is energy, frequency and vibration. That's all it is. All of it. As it is, so shall it be. We're getting all spun out over here, making it tough. Speaking of Vedic knowledge, but not really. I'm not getting into it. I'm just tapping on the edge of it. I have mega respect for the. Oh, I already read that. When I was 8, I think like that. Yes, that's right. Oh, you're making new turtles, huh? Awesome. Awesome. Are you videoing? Are you going live stream or recording anything? Have you uploaded anything new since I watched the video and you had, I think you were just like doing like a demo, right? And testing it out to see how it goes with the new setup, new camera or something. I'd love to see your turtles. Are you making them anatomically correct with the 15 on the shell and the 28 going around the edge? The turtle is very significant for time. The turtle represents the 13 moon phases of the year and the 28-day cycle that we naturally are supposed to be on. A natural vibrational frequency with time that has been disrupted through the Gregorian calendar and the 24-hour clock and all these rules and regulations that we're supposed to follow. This one looks crooked. The first green one, I think, is going to have a bad wobble to it. All right, let's check the time. Okay, we got about 30 minutes. Cool. Almost 8 a.m., guys. Stop here in a little while so I can make sure I have everything I need for today. And I do believe I want to maybe get myself some breakfast today. I've been getting hungry in the day. Usually I wake up fast, but I think I've been waking up too early, and it's been messing with my fasting schedule. So normally I wait till lunchtime to have breakfast, or to break my fast. Oh, you mixed some unknown glass, so are you working boral and maybe mix some soft glass? Is it possible that you have boral and soft glass in the studio like I do at the same time? I don't have any soft glass on my desk. All the soft glass I have is, what is it actually? It's not anywhere near here. Oh, you got a chunk from the coin shop. Okay. That's interesting. You got a chunk of glass from the coin shop. To make something with. That's cool. I have a pre-mixed torch on top. I could not do soft glass on this torch. but my bottom source is a surface mix, but it's a large flame. So in order to do soft glass, I would have to swap out my tip. I do they make a conversion? No, I don't think so, because it's pre-mixed. You can't pre-mix and unpre-mix it. And like the pre-mix is all within right here before it goes through the tip. Yeah, this is a pre-mixed torch. There is no way around it. Alright, let's make another green one. I do believe that first green one came out really, really wobbly. We will find out. We'll see how it spins in just a second. I see we got a few others watching. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. I'm Dan the Glassman. You're watching the Glassman's World. And you can hit the like button if you want. I don't really care. I'm not monetized. So, but I guess it does help out the algorithms and it helps people to see my videos. But like I said, I don't really care about all that. I might monetize myself one day, but then I'll have to turn this into a job. I can't give myself a jobby job. I'll be feeling like I'll be working at a desk job here, just sitting around, doing what I'm doing anyway. Like it makes sense to just make money off of this, right? The only thing holding me back is not having a bank account. Cash is king. But gold and silver is the emperor. That runs the whole empire. Cash is king, but gold and silver is the emperor. Gold and silver is like the emperor and the empress, huh? I remember when I started blowing glass back in 1995, gold was fluctuating between like 280. I think it dropped down even to like 250 an ounce and was up at like 320, 380 maybe. I think it was like 280 to 350. Gold was. That's amazing. And then we just evaporate it. We turn gold into fumes. Gold and silver just evaporated away. You're just going to completely vaporize it, right? Right onto the glass. And then silver, I remember silver, you literally get a silver dollar for $5. And nowadays, the silver dollars are like, they fluctuate, but they're close to about, what, $50 an ounce right now for the troy ounce silver. I think it's amazing that we just vaporize metals like gold and silver. I don't know. Cash is king. Gold and silver is like the emperor and the empress. Bitcoin, what's Bitcoin then? Crypto. But then, you know what really is like the best to have? Like, you can always just be like, oh, well, whatever. Emperor, empress, king, queen, whatever. I'm just going to go be a peasant and live in my self-sustainable ways where you'll never know what I'm trading for, bartering for, because I could be bartering glass for cash, right? Or gold, or silver, or crypto, or wood, or food, or ganja, or more glass, raw glass material, or for plants. Like, once you remove yourself from those systems, you just barter away, right? Just trade knowledge for knowledge, skills for skills, product for product. That's where the true freedom lies. One thing I would love to learn how to do is the HHO generators, the hydrogen generators, where you basically get your stainless steel plates, separate them, have them charged, one positive, one negative, send some electricity through the water, separating hydrogen from oxygen molecules, releasing the oxygen, capturing the hydrogen, right? So check that out. You release the oxygen, you collect the oxygen, right? And you collect the hydrogen. And what do we use? Well, we use propane and oxygen, but we can also burn. Hydrogen burns really hot and really clean. And I've seen people blow glass with hydrogen torches. We could blow glass with an HHO generator. You guys understand that, right? We could do this for free with water. Oh, look at that crooked one. Did you see that? That's the one I said was going to be crooked. That don't look crooked to me, guys. Oh, ooh, get that back on there. That one definitely don't look crooked. That looks like it spins beautiful. Cool. 2 more to go. 2 more green ones, and then some of them purples. I think I might need like 3 purples. Alright, so I'm going to be getting going here in just a little while. Got to go set up at the Sunday Nob Hill East Market, which is really close to Carlisle Boulevard and Central. It's on the corner of Solano and Central, across the street from the pharmacy, which is a restaurant that people go to for breakfast. I believe they do a lot of sausage, bacon, and eggs kind of breakfast, those kind of things. Maybe they do some eggs Benedict, things like that. I'm not really sure. So your turtles, you never answered. Are your turtles anatomically correct? Do you put the 13 pattern on the shell and the 28 going around it? And then putting the chest plate also. And then having the chest plate. I don't know the anatomy of the chest plate. I just know the shell, the top of the shell is 13 and 28. But turtles are very important. They represent the calendar, the moon phases. We're supposed to be on a 28-day, 13-month yearly cycle. But like I was saying earlier, the Gregorian calendar, they decided to change things up. And that was basically to disrupt our harmonious vibration with the natural frequency of the earth, of the universe, of time itself, to disrupt the harmony. So we're disconnected. We're all disconnected. in those ways. But once you understand those things, and then you can be like, oh, well, then I just follow the moon. Like, yeah, sure, like right now we're living in whatever month or whatever day that they want to call it, but I know that the first of the month is always on a Monday or a moon day, and it's always supposed to be a full moon on that first of the month. And New Year's Day falls on April Fool's. April is the beginning of our pattern with the sun and the moon cycle working in conjunction together. But they have us celebrating New Year's on January 1st of every year. There's a month missing. The Ophiuchus astrological zodiac sign is the 13th sign and constellation that we're missing. We just took it out from where it's supposed to be, which I believe it's supposed to fall in between November and December, if I'm not mistaken. But I could be wrong then. But yeah, April 1st should always be a full moon, and it should be the beginning of our year, and it should be always on a Monday or a moon day, you know, lunas, miércoles, jueves. Oh, wait, I said that wrong. Miércoles is Wednesday. Lunes, martes, miércoles. And then I don't know all of I don't know all the days in Spanish or Latin. But yeah, I mean, and then there's Sunday, right? There's Moon Day, there's Sunday, there's Moon Day, there's the Sabbath, or Saturn. You're not supposed to work on the Sabbath, but then they have everyone going to church on a Sunday to worship the sun rather than to take the Sabbath off or the Saturday off. You know, things are done like that for a reason, on purpose, guys. All to create disruption, to disrupt the harmonious vibration and frequency, so we're not allowed to align. It's like having a guitar that you're trying to play and it's completely out of tune. And you're trying to like find harmonics and getting chords, and it all is just sour. And it doesn't sound right. Like, yeah, of course you can turn any kind of sound into a song or a beat or rhythm or something, but it's not intonated, it's not in tune, it's not in the correct vibrational frequency of what it's supposed to be, its own natural resonance and vibration. You guys understand what I'm even talking about? Sometimes I do this and I just like ramble on and talk about things. Because I'm not trying to teach anyone anything here. I'm not trying to, well, I guess I'm trying to share some knowledge or some things, but as far as laugh, I'm not trying to teach anyone anything. We're just doing a demo here, just kicking back and promoting today's market. The Sunday Nob Hill East Market, located at 3808 Central, Southeast. Our friends own a business there at 3808 Central. If you need to get some hats, t-shirts printed or embroidered, you'll see our boy over there at, well, they used to be known as the Vaporium, and I think the Vaporium sign is still up, but they are in transition. And so it's 3808 Central. Find us at the market today, and then I can introduce you to our friend Alfred there. He's been making some awesome patches. I'm hoping that he can make our hot air balloon patch. I would love to have that made. You got good ratio. I made 13 to have 6 that work. Oh yeah, see, out of the 35 that I made the other day, I think 2 were too wobbly to sell and to spin. They just like, if they're way too wobbly, they'll spin off onto their sides. I don't know if you saw that. They can almost flip over, like those one tops that are rounded on the bottom and have a little thing on top. I have never tried to make those kind of tops. You know what? Let's make one. That'd be cool. Let's just make a clear one real quick. We're just going to gather some glass. We're going to round it on the bottom. And we're going to try to make one that actually flips over onto its top on purpose. I've never done this. But I know they make those ones with like plastic. It's just a round ball. And then I think it's kind of flattened on the top, but rounded on the bottom. Yeah, there is a little bit of a flat. Let's see what I can do. Yeah, a flip over spinner. I don't know if you've seen those plastic ones that they make. Yeah, and these ones you can spin on their tops. These, watch, let me show you. This one looks crooked too, we'll see. But yeah, these ones here, you can grab them like this and spin them on their top. So what we're going to try to do is make one that we start on the bottom and it flips itself over purposely. Oh man, if I do that, now we got a whole new inventory to add to the website, which is still not up and running yet. Still building it. Be patient. I have a website up and running soon, so you can order things and pay for shipping and all that good stuff. I will also have t-shirts available. I do have a screen printer, a t-shirt press sitting literally right behind me here in my studio. Alright. Make sure that one I said was supposed to have a wobble. I don't see a wobble there. See, even my eye, I'm like, ah, that looks a little crooked. No, it's still working. Awesome. So one thing that I've learned is that my spinners are now, like, they are a crowd gatherer. I sit there on my table and I start spinning as many as I possibly can and try to get as many going all at once. And then people, they see them, they're like, oh man, that is so cool. I love that. You've never seen one. Okay, let's do it. Now you will. So like I said, it's got to be kind of flattened on the top side here. I don't know if it needs to be, but that's what I remember them looking like. So what I'm going to do is we're going to kind of push this down. We're going to round it up a little bit. And then we're going to kind of gather it. But I'm going to need to allow the tip to solidify a little bit, I think. So I don't flatten the whole front. Either that, or if I flatten it too much, then we're going to have to just round out the disc. Alright, so I'm just gathering it. I don't know how much of a gather I want to get. This is going to go a little bit bigger, I think, than what I normally do with just bringing the 16 millimeter to like an 18 millimeter. We're probably going to go more from like 16 millimeter to 20 mil, maybe even 22, 24. I think we've got like 2 millimeters on each side now gathered. Alright, I'm going to let it solidify here. Basically just let it cool down. Allow it to stop glowing. Yeah, I would love to get my glass out to you. You don't even need to buy. If we can just get something going and I can get my glass to Belgium, then you'll just get like free glass with every order or something. Since they're making that happen. So you can blow on your glass and try to cool it down a little quicker. See, now that it's not glowing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this right here, and we're going to try to like flatten out this section right here. I don't know if you noticed, but I don't really mess with my flame too much. I kind of just, like, once I find a nice little flame, I kind of just leave it there. I don't really, like, make it tighter, make it bigger or smaller. I kind of just leave it there for me. But there are some times when, like, I really do got to bring it down and get into that tight spot, which is what I was thinking maybe I should do right now to get in that tight spot there. Alright, here we go. We're going to flatten this, but it's going to be bald on the bottom still. Sorta. Yeah. No. Okay. Cool. Now you see it's got a wobble though. I have to flatten that out. Now this is when I wish I had one of those marving tools on the top of my torch. But I'll just use my paddle here. I'm going to kind of go underneath it like this. Just try to get it to straighten out on its own. Alright, let's see how that looks. Oh yeah, that looks good. Now we're going to round out the bottom. We're going to like half dome it. And it is really close to that, but I'm going to really half dome this. And then we'll put a flat earth on inside underneath on the bottom. Just kidding. I actually thought about making some flat earth pendants. I don't know if you guys have noticed the logo that I have, my cover photo for the Glassman's World is the flat earth map from the UN, the United Nations. Alright, I'm going to tighten up my, get a little bit more oxygen here and really get this round down. At this point I'm thinking it would be nice to actually utilize a marble mold here. Okay, I'm thinking what I'm going to have to do is hold it downward like this to allow the gravity or the pressure to pull it this way and force it down that way. And then we're going to hold it up so we can get that underneath by the handle to flat, I guess. And I wonder if this is gonna work. It'd be cool if I can actually get this to flip over. Okay, so it's rounded. And we're gonna hold it like this. Try to get it to fall on itself and on. I'm gonna have to heat up that part. Okay. Heat this up real quick now. This is taking a little bit longer. These might be $10 spinning tops instead of $5. Oh yeah, and by the way, all the spinning tops that I do make are usually only $5. They're my $5 items that, because I make them so quick and easy, I just, out the door all day. All day. This is a little bit more difficult than I was expecting. Ladders, I don't buy it. Well, you tell me, how do you keep water on the spinning ball? Is it pressure? Is it gravity? Vacuum pressure? Being inside of a sealed environment? Within the atmosphere? I'm not liking this. Because, you know what? I'm realizing, even though I'm trying to flatten this top portion out right there, what needs to be done is I need to cut it off. And then I got to make this so perfectly straight on the punchy to where I'll add a handle to it instead of pulling one. Guessing, I don't know. I don't know if it really needs this shape. But maybe it does. Alright, what time is it? Okay, so this is going to be the last one, I guess. So I only made a couple green ones. Sorry, purple. Oh, that's not straight. There we go. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this off. Then I'm going to just flatten it. I need this side flat, but rounded on the other side. So is the glass half empty or is the glass half full? Is it full of air or is it full of water? I spent all that time trying to do all that flattening and this and that. I was like, man. Uh-oh. For the first time all week, I'm feeling my fingers as this went down. I have issues with my right shoulder, my rotator cuff. Why I don't do a lot of heavy weight. And I just realized that my shoulders got for the first time all week. I did not use the 10 unit yesterday or the day before. but I know that 10th unit has been helping significantly. You know, this almost, God, okay, let's see, can I use my reamer here and flatten this? Or, sorry, not the reamer, the jack here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's it, right there. See that? So I kind of flatten it just right there. I don't know, the jack kind of works better. And using that. That's interesting. I've never used them like that before. That's cool. I just figured out something. All right, so that's it right there. And I just got to make sure that this is nice and straight. So using gravity to pull it down, we're going to just heat it up a little bit and allow gravity to do its job. Maybe we'll also allow a pull to do its job. We'll just get that nice and straight. It's the mushroom spinner. That's what it is. Cool. Let me round the very, very end perfectly. That way when it flips over, it's going to have a nice rounded tip to spin on. Cool. There we go. Gravity. All right, then we just clean up the funky on the bottom. So these ones used to be like a green with a white top or something like that. They'd be like half of the thing would be one color and half would be another color. Like green and white, blue and white, red and white, yellow and white. Usually the handles are always white for some reason. All right, let's just round this out nicely. I can't wait to try this for you guys real quick. We'll make one more green one as we're waiting for this one to cool down. Or maybe I should make purple. I think I'm out of purple. I think that bottom is nice and round now. Just hold it like that. Let it just all come down like that, right? Gravity. Ooh, that one's gonna be cool. I can't wait to test that out. I hope that one flips over. Okay, this was the one that I said would have a wobble, and I see it has a bit of a shake and a shimmy, but I don't think, I'm trying to, like, if you spin it fast, if it's really, really wobbly, it'll go on its side and it'll start spinning like, I can't really demonstrate that. All right, let's make one more green one, and then I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. I'm Dan the Glassman. This is the Glassman's World. One more here, and then I got to get my socks and shoes on and get going. What is it, 8:20? 8:24. I was trying to get off 4 minutes ago, so we'll just make this real quick. I'll be done by 8:30, I guess. That way we can try that out. I want to test that out. I want you guys to see what I mean by it's flipping over. We'll even give you a better camera angle, or we'll move the pad a little bit better into the frame here. No, you spin it holding the small tip as the handle. So you spin it on the ball, and it should just right away just flip over up onto its top and become a mushroom, like it stand up like a mushroom. So that's what I'm saying. These are the mushroom spinners. I don't know if I can make them for only $5 though. But I also spent, how much time trying to figure out flattening it. I was like, oh, I could have just rounded it, pulled it off, then flattened the other end, then add the handle, right? And then learning that I can use the jack like I just did to pull a handle, then flatten it like I did. Well, the next one will be a lot faster. Too bad we run out of time this morning, but I want to get good parking. I actually should have left already. We'll see how it works out. Either way, it's almost time. We normally start setting up about 9 o'clock. And I put it like, I barely attach it, and then I'll go in with the heat, and I'll force it down more to make sure that, I'm spreading it out evenly, so if it's got to go to one side or another, and that's how I really, really center that dot. And then I make it a lot thicker before pulling it. That's the trick to getting that dot in the center. And then also, when you have your color, you want to have your color pulled like this, at a little bit of a point, so when you go in, you're not just going to go with a big old blob right into center, because if you go off center, it's going to be a lot harder to do what I just did, which is mashing it down to widen it out to one side or another if you're off center. So those are little tips and tricks right there. Maybe I need to just start posting up my PayPal. And if you guys ever want to just throw me $1, $2, $5, $20, whatever you feel is the value of what I'm giving you here, I would appreciate it. That'd be kind of cool, actually. And then I don't ever have to be an employee for YouTube, and I can just actually still be a independent contractor there, and creating my own monetization through sales, customization, and through lessons and tutorials and demonstrations. Summerfest, Route 66 is, we've been talking about Route 66, Central Avenue. Route 66 is officially going to be turning 100 years old next year in 2026. And that's going to be a huge ordeal for Route 66 along the whole entire route from Chicago to California. And so we're definitely going to have a big celebration here in Albuquerque, in New Mexico in general, like all the way across the state. I will be making a ton of Route 66 memorabilia. Just a lot of different things that say 66, especially the glass balloon. I'll probably have a 66 on one side and 100 on the other for the 66 100th anniversary. And I might even write Route 66. What would be cool is if I made a Millie Fiore chip for it, so then I could just stamp them all day and it'd be the same logo, same design all day. You guys know how to do Millie canes? Millie canes are hard. I've done a few. To make a stick, you would have to make a circle, right, for the bottom, and then you would have to create a flattened a tail that would attach to that circle, And then you have to fill in the gaps in between there. You have to bend it over instead of keeping it flat and straight. All right. This one might be hot still, being that it's thicker on the bottom. I don't know if it's going to have cooled down as quick as these ones because they're thin on the disc. But let's see if I can grab it by the handle like I do with these all the time. Move it over. Okay, I'm going to move this one a little bit away right there. Yeah, that's warm. I got the warm. It's warm. It's warm. I need to let it cool a little bit more. Oh, it's warm. That's just hot. Get over, get over, get over. Oh, it's hitting that ridge right there. Ah, come on. Come on. Maybe I got to do it on the actual table itself. Right here. Shut this off real quick. Let's move my pad here. Okay, we're gonna try to do it on the table here. I'm just worried that it's gonna like fall off, and it being so hot too. All right, let's see. Can I get it to spin? Ah, it's not flipping over. Did I make the handle too long, too short? Ah, gosh, and it's got all this other glass everywhere. It's just gonna. I need a bigger surface area. Flip over, flip over. Dang, it's gonna keep hitting things. I can't demo it on my table. My table's not flat enough. I appreciate you guys watching. I will try to get this thing to spin over today on my tray without it like coming off the table there. But I tried. I was hoping to get a demo for you on that. But getting it to spin, and then it hits everything. It's gonna just break stuff. That's what do you call those? The Beyblades. They'll take out every top around. Awesome. I'm glad I made one dude happy in Belgium. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I'm glad I have a new friend here that comes around and we keep the chat going. I appreciate it. In a marble mold, you can make that shape. Oh yeah, marble mold. Yep. I make my own. This is my bowl push and marble mold. Cool. All right. Thank you so much for tuning and watching. I got to get going. Love and blessings. You guys have a beautiful Sunday. I'm out.